Anything else? If there's nothing else, as I told you, I didn't intend to give you answers. I'm only trying to make us think rationally. And most of the information you have, I don't think I have more information than you have, but aggregating it in a responsible manner, in an intelligent manner, putting it in perspective. Truth has many dimensions. If you view through a microscope, all you see is a bacteria and a virus. But that's not all the world is. That's just a part of the world. So you must have also a larger vision and a perspective and logic and a rational and creative approach, constructive approach. If your analysis doesn't lead to a solution, you're wasting your time and my time. Whatever you think about society and its problems, if you are a theoretician, you want to be a philosopher, do it, it's your time, you do it. But when you want to promote public good through public policy, you have an obligation to come up with a constructive and creative answer which actually addresses the challenges. So that is the idea I wanted to plant in your minds. Don't worry about specifics. You may have radically different views. There's nothing wrong. As long as they're informed by evidence, logic, and a sense of what works, what doesn't, and a larger sense of philosophy. Otherwise, it's not a logical view. It's just a superstition, or it's a pidivada antaman, a foolish doctrine. It's no different from silly religions. That's not what public discourse is about. Views don't have to coincide. But ultimately, if you have a rational view, but slightly different perspective, I have a rational view based on evidence, there is a possibility of a meeting point. We can take into account both these and see what is the best outcome. But if you're irrational in your beliefs, or you are not backed by evidence, if you're illogical, and if your solution is counterproductive, then you are a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. What UPSC should seek, and what the citizens of India should seek from all of you as potential public servants, is for you to be part of the solution. Only one last word. Not everybody will get selected. Don't ever think that if you're selected, you are the king of the world or queen of the world. If you're not selected, you are dregs of humanity. Selection does not make you great. Not getting selected does not make you inferior. I know too many people who give years and years of their lives. They feel terribly disappointed they don't get selected. Their self-esteem is eroded and they become depressed. It's a very stupid way of looking at it. Life has so many facets. The world today has so many opportunities. And even if you want to do public service, even if you're not selected, if you really care for the public good, if you focus on areas of interest to you where you have some expertise and understanding, you can gain expertise, you can become a very important player in generating ideas. And in a rational system, sensible system, one day you should be part of the governing process. So if you get selected, don't think you are the kings of the world, don't be arrogant. Have the humility and retain the idealism that you started with, and recognize that generally as a system, bureaucracy is failing, not performing. Therefore, how do I perform better? How do I become part of the solution? Be humble and treat people with respect. Ultimately, they are the ones who are funding your salaries. They are the ones who gave you power. Unknown, ordinary people, they are the ones who are giving you power. God has not given you the power. If you are a district magistrate or a superintendent of police, God has not given you power over 3 million people. The people of India, the constitutional scheme has given you the power. Have the humility along with dignity. If you don't get selected, think that you may be better off. For your intelligence and hard work and your skills, market probably provides better opportunities to make money. And if you also want to promote public good, you can certainly gain expertise in a chosen area as opposed to civil servants who are jacks of all trade. And you can make a huge contribution to the country, either as a part of government eventually or even outside the government. I have been privileged to do a lot of good in the country, within the government. In post-independence India, I am regarded as one of the most successful civil servants in our history. But after leaving government in the last 26 years, I did much, much more good than almost any civil servant in India. It may not always be visible. So, if you really care, you can do a lot. Certainly, public office gives you an opportunity with public money. But that's all. No more, no less. Don't take it more seriously than it should be. Don't destroy your lives, either in government or outside government. Have a balance. And never forget, ultimately, you are citizens. If I meet the Prime Minister or President, you know what I say? I tell them, I now come to you as a master to a servant. Because I am the master as a citizen. Always maintain that dignity. And always respect that dignity of the citizen without undermining your own dignity or self-esteem. And be optimistic. The country is changing for the better. Politics is getting more and more messed up. But politics is not the center of the world. Administration is not the center of the world. Thank God for that. Technology, global exposure, communications, as Balu said. Many things are independent of politics. Many things are happening for the better. Human society is getting better, not worse, if you take a broader view of what's happening. So never lose faith in the future. We live in a fantastic generation. We are very privileged people. And don't be afraid. Don't be arrogant. Don't put everything in one basket and then regret later. I wish you all the very best.
Like and subscribe Eagle Media Works.